Hey guys, it's April. Do I have a super treat for you today? This painting was part of a collaboration with the Paint Pour Academy for their Artist Spotlight Collective. I've done a few collaborations with them in the past and they're super fun. There's a lot of great artists that participate. I'll list all of them in my description if they have a YouTube page. And while I'm spreading the base coat on this, I want to tell you about the idea I had for it, which the collaboration is called Shadows and Spells, a Halloween Journey. And we were basically given the challenge to use kind of Halloween colors, purple, black, orange, green, deep blue, and just go crazy. So my idea for this was when I think of Halloween, I think of a full moon and I think of colors in the sky and scary trees and black cats. And so I kind of wanted to incorporate all of that in. I planned on doing several different techniques, which I did. This video is a little longer than my previous videos, only because it took several days to do. I had to stop in between each piece and let it dry and then move on to the next step. I used probably 4 different techniques and textures in this, and I am super excited about it. The base coat was just a mix of Payne's Gray and Dioxazine Purple, and that was really just to make sure the canvas had full coverage. Now I just put some painter's tape to separate the bottom from the top. On the top, my plan was to do a Dutch pour, making the moon in the middle and the colors of the sky around this cookie cutter. The cookie cutter is meant to just keep the lines of the moon really, really crisp. Here I'm just blowing the moon out with a straw. I used gold and silver. That's 24 karat gold by Decoart and silver by Liquitex. Both of the colors are mixed with Floetrol and water just to be thinned out enough to blow around. Now that the moon's big enough, I'm going to put that cookie cutter back in place, and I'm actually going to wipe off or spread out the gold and the silver that is sticking out from the cookie cutter. And my thought with that was that it would kind of mix in with the sky colors and give kind of a lighter contrast to the dark colors that I'm going to pour in the sky. Now I'm going to start laying my colors down for the sky. That first color is actually a mix of Ivory Black and blue, like a really deep, bright blue. And that's just because I didn't want it too black. I wanted to add a little bit of kind of a blue tone to it, thinking this was maybe dusk and, the sky still had a little bit of blue in it. There I'm adding some more of that blue that I mixed with the black. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some purple. This is LouiseArt color shifting. Emerald purple, no, not emerald purple. Something blue purple. I'll have all of the colors listed in the description. This is emerald green, but I want to say that they call it like emerald flash, and that's also LouiseArt. The other green is it was a custom green that I had mixed a few together, and I'm putting a little bit more of that darker color on. I wanted the purple to really shine in the higher part of the sky, and the green and the blue in the lower part of the sky. I'm taking my blow dryer and I'm just going to blow it out. Just a blow dryer pour, Dutch pour, whatever you want to call it, with really thinned paints. And my vision was sort of the colors of like an aurora borealis. It ended up not working completely that way because I had some touch-ups I had to do. But initially, as I'm blowing it out, I feel like the sky is fantastic. And the metallic colors add cells in with the regular colors, there's a chemical reaction that happens and those cells just form and they look amazing. You can see the cells forming in the purple of the sky, and as it dries, they get even bigger and less wispy there. Now I'm just pulling the painter's tape off so I can let it dry, let the top dry. And as the top is drying, I don't want it to dry fully because I'm adding a tree. And this is a different technique. This is a swipe technique. And I just pulled strips of paper towel. I put some more of that base color down the bottom there, and I'm literally just swiping it through the top. I don't think any Halloween scene is complete without a scary tree. Now this tree was kind of dark and I really wanted it to stand out against the background, so I decided to add some silver along the branches just to highlight it so it looks like the moon is glowing on the bottom of the tree or the bottom of the branches. I just did this by taking my liquid silver and using a spoon, or a palette knife, and just bringing it along the underside of the branches. Once I was satisfied with the tree, I realized I was not satisfied with the moon. The line was not as crisp as I wanted it to be. So I replaced my cookie cutter over the moon and decided to scrape around it to get rid of all of the silver and gold that kind of leaked out and made it a bit of a wonky line. I really wanted a crisp line. So then once I wiped it out, I just blew the sky color back in towards the cookie cutter to try to fill in the gap. So now I'm gonna pull that cookie cutter away. You'll see my nice crisp line. And now I have to let this upper part dry before I work on the bottom. And here I am. I've taped off my upper part because I don't want to get any of this paint on there. I love the way those clouds came out and the tree. You can see that the colors of the moon did, or the lines of the moon did get a little wonky again, but I'll show you how I fix that later. For the bottom, I'm using Payne's Gray and Dioxazine Purple, like my base coat, and I wanted a little texture in this part. I wanted it to look like grass at night. So I'm just tapping it out with with this round brush that's got stiff bristles. And I go along either side, and the reason I taped out the middle there is because I want to put a little bit of moon reflection in the grass. Now for this part, I'm just using the paint straight out of the tube. There's nothing mixed with them. I wanted them nice and thick and just the way they were made to be. I'm gonna pull away the tape and see what my lines look like. And then I'm going to blend in some gold and silver with the purple and gray in the middle there, just for a reflection from the moon. Now that that's done, I'm gonna go back to my moon, and I just took the Decoart 24 karat gold straight out of the bottle, and I'm using it to straighten my lines with a brush. So I'm just going in and I'm painting the moon to make it nice and smooth all the way around. I wanted it to look like the moon was shining, so I also took the Decoart gold and I went around the outside of the moon and blended it in with my finger to look like it was glowing. And now that that moon was shining super brightly, I went back to my tree and decided to sharpen up the lines with some more silver right out of the tube for that as well. I finished my tree and I let it dry. When I let it dry, I realized I did not like the way the grass looked. It looked more like water with the moon reflecting. So you can see here, I went back and I made a different line there so that it looked like a hill that the tree was sitting on, and just made the reflection a little bit different. Now this part I was looking forward to. This is the funnest part. I decided to add a little black cat sitting on the hill staring at the moon. And you can see that I just used a picture that I found on the internet. I just Google searched for black cat silhouettes, and this is what I came up with. There was hundreds of them, but I thought this was the cutest little guy. So I'm just going in with straight up paint out of the tube again, nice black paint, and making my cat sitting on the hill. At this point, I decided my cat was lonely, so I added a little pumpkin friend in there that he's sitting next to. And overall, I just feel like this came out super cute. Now I ended up doing a couple coats of the cat and the pumpkin with the paint, but I didn't like how translucent they were. So I pulled out my black Posca pen, and this came in clutch because it covered so nicely. I did have to wait for the paint to dry before I went over it with the Posca pen. After the Posca pen was dry, I went in with a brush and some silver and just added some highlights to show the moon's reflection on our little friends. When I was finished with the highlights, that was it. I let it dry, but then realized they needed shadows, so I went back in and gave our little friend some shadows. I love the way this dried. The metallics are so shiny. The sky is so vibrant. If you love this too, check out the other artists in this collaboration. Hit that subscribe button, share my page, and have a joyful day.